Hello everyone, we are on page 2 now of Fairy Wings. So I have page 1 here, turn it over and I'm on page 2 and I've made the cuts for the flaps, which is on the description, under description of this tutorial, and also the full list is under the walkthrough description. But I will hold this up here so you can see what cuts you need to make. And just label them with a pencil A through E. So A flap is going to be 9 by 5. B is going to be 8 by 5 1/4. C is 9 by 5 3/4. D is 7 7/8 by 5 3/4. And I cut a lot at 7 7/8. And basically that's just 2 lines before 8. And E is 5 3/8 by 4 1/4. And 3/8 is 2 lines before 5 1/2. Okay, so you can cut those, hit pause, and then come back, and we will get started scoring them. All right, so let's take our A flap first, and that one is going to be scored 1/2 inch with the 5-inch side facing the top of the score. And I always score with the flat side facing up and the linen side facing down. So B is going to be no score line, that's a flap. C is going to be a pocket that sits on top of that flap. So we're going to start this one with the 9-inch side going across the top, because that's going to be the open side. So whatever your open side is where you start, because that will not have a line going across it. So we've got our long side facing across the top, turn it to the right here, and then turn it to the right one more time. And then you have 2 score lines on your short sides and 1 across the long side. So that is C. D is going to be an insert, and we're going to put a little pull tab on here. That's where you'll need this. Let me pull it out. You will need a graphic 45 trading tag. If you don't want to use this, you don't have to. They sell punches too that are like a tag punch, or anything that you can use as a handle to pull this out. So you can even use a piece of chipboard that you put on top of a piece of paper sticking out. Say put a piece of paper sticking out like this, and to put a chipboard on the front and the back, you can use that as a pull tab. I'm just going to use this, and later on I'll put a little ribbon in there. But anything you want that you can pull this out of the pocket. Okay, so D. That is D. E is, we're going to have, where did I score this? Okay, this is a little mini pocket. So I'm going to start with the 5 3/8 side going across the top. This is our little mini pocket underneath one of the flaps. Okay. And let's bring out our score tape, and we'll start taping these up. I'll just go in reverse order now. So this is E, and let's tape that on 3 sides. And one more thing I forgot to mention for supplies. It's not necessary, but if you have glossy accents, there's lots of bubbles in this album. You can put glossy accents on the paper, make it like a clear bubble. That's really cool. So I am gonna go back into my album and do that afterwards. Not mandatory, but you can have fun with this album. It's a fairy album. You can put stickles and you know, confetti pieces, you know, use your imagination. Glitter, certainly. You could put some glitter on the wings and just have fun being creative with it. I love fairies. Right. And then we have our B does not have any folds, and A has one score line. Okay. So let's press this down and then fold wherever we have fold lines. B has nothing. Let's take our 2 pockets and do like we did before in the page 1 tutorial. You go up to that where the score lines cross and then turn out. Okay, I like to clean as I go. And then we'll fold here. So, all right, let's bring out our pocket page. We are on page 2 is up there. This is page 1. And here we are. Let's go with the right flap. So A, let me find A. I labeled these with a pencil. I'm losing things here. So, the A flap I am going to put on the right hand side. So here's my 2. I'm going to turn this so the right hand side is facing me. Let's take off the score tape, backing there, and again we're going to put the non-sticky side down so we can move it left and right. And I am just going to line this up left and right. I can use my fingers here on the sides. I can feel that it is right up to the edge, and I'm going to go right up to the edge, tuck this fold under, and then use your thumbs here to, you can feel where it's right to the edge, and I can feel with these 2 fingers over here, and then I can just place that down. Okay, there we go. So we have, what we have here is, this is our B flap, and we're going to take B like this with the linen side up, and we're going to put our C on top of B. So just take off the bottom. Press that down, press that down. Okay, now I'm going to be very careful here, and just I'm looking left and right, and I'm going to gently place this pocket on top of this piece of paper right here. It's not really a flap so much. It's going to go on top of the A flap. So I'm just putting that down, and let's see, for some reason, I have a little bit maybe my cutter was off a little bit, but I can, oh, I know what it is. Every once in a while, that's okay. If it's not right up to the edge, I have a little piece sticking out here. That's why I had extra over here. So that is where your undo comes in handy. If that happens to you, you just need to lift off just this little piece. And when you first put it down, it's not very sticky, so you can easily move it. So I'm just gonna scooch this back. It wasn't quite to the edge. And there, and then that will be firm in about a minute. It takes when it's dry, it'll fully stick. Okay, so I am not going to place this on top of this pocket just yet, but I will tell you, it's going to go, the mouth, the opening is going to be facing the left side, and I'm going to put it right on top of there. I'm going to put glue, tape back here. The reason why I'm not doing that just yet is because you want to put your decorative paper here first. If you don't want to put your decorative paper there first, you could put it down and just, to conserve paper, you can just put a strip here and then a strip here and here, and that works fine too. So that is up to you. I actually did it that way, but I had leftover paper, so you could do this either way. You could wait, put your paper down, and then put this on top. So I'm going to wait. But since this, I don't have to put paper underneath here, I can take this tape backing off. But before I do that, I think it is a good idea to put a magnet right in here. I've just found that when I make this, you have this, you're gonna have your D card in here like this, right? I'm just gonna set this up for you. You're gonna have that in here. It's gonna have your pull tag on it, which we're gonna put on there in a minute. When you're turning your page, you just don't want this to fall down. So what I've been doing is I just take a little magnet, and before I take the tape off the back here, I'm gonna just put this magnet. And since it's my first one, I know it's a plus, and that way, when I'm ready to put the second one, the minus, on top of this pullout, I'll know to put a minus there. So I'm just gonna, hope you can see this. I have my card here, my pocket. I'm just gonna put this in about an inch, like that. There we go. And then I'm gonna take my minus. I'm not gonna peel the backing off yet, but I'm just gonna put it there so that I know when I'm ready, I'll take the back off of that and put it to the back of that card. And you know what? I'm gonna do that before I glue this down. So let's just, we have this sitting here, ready to go. So let's just take this little step first and put our tag onto this D pullout. All right, so I have my linen side. That's the side I want face up. And the tag, you have your nice smooth side. That's the side you want to look at. The reverse side, you see the reverse of the grommet here, but you want this facing out. So that will be on your linen side. So it will look like this. The part that you want facing up is not the indentation, it's the puffed out side. And that's going to be on top of this linen side. So I'm going to have it look like this. So basically, I want to take some score tape. Where did it go? Here we go. And I'm just going to put a couple pieces on this tag. I'm going to put it right under here. So that just a little bit of the black will show under the grommet. I'll put one at the bottom and one in the middle, and that should hold it secure. All right. So now I have my tag. I'm going to take my D and I'm going to put it right, line it up. I'm holding it above so I can see where left and right. If you want to measure, you can do that. Eyeballing is good. And just lay it down. Right, so that you don't see any of the tape. And that's going to be your pullout. I am going to round my corners here just a little. I think that'll look good. You can use a little corner round or a medium-sized one, whatever you feel. I think that looks good because the little rounded corners, and these are rounded, it just goes. Okay, so this is going to go in here. Now, what I'm going to do, see, it'll look like this. Let's take the back off of this this magnet with the negative charge. Okay. I took the back off, and then I will lay this down. And now my magnet is on the other side. Let's tape that down. And that way it won't go sliding around. Okay. And now we can take the backing off of this pocket. And there that is. All right, now anything else? Let's see, we have our little pocket here, which is going to go on the other side of this flap. We'll just take off the bottom piece. Okay, so this is going to go right underneath this flap. You want it to be inside of this score line here. Don't put it right on top, because this flap, you want to be able to close it. So I'm going to look here. If it sticks out a little smidgy over here, that is fine. It shouldn't. It should come right up to there. I'm using my thumbs again to make it flush across the bottom. And just, I'm looking here and I'm just leaving a little bit of a space before that crease. Okay. So it's just, I don't know how much you can see, but it's just before the crease. And you can test it out by closing it. And that's fine. Okay, I'm gonna leave these two backings of this score tape on there so that I can put paper behind here. Okay, so now we just need to worry about our magnet placement. And what I want to do with this book is I'm going to have a magnet on the bottom and top, and then I'm going to put a thick one right there. Okay, so this page doesn't use too many magnets. Some of my more complicated pages do. But let's put one right here. All right, and tape this down. I'm gonna put my tape going this way. It won't matter because it is going to be covered up, but it gives me just a little more room on that side to have tape. Where did my end go? All right. All right. Put our other end here. let's fold this over. And then put tape there. Okay. Now for this one, I'm going to use a thick magnet, one of the big ones. Let me find where I have that. Here it is. So the basic array, they come in the small ones, and I think in the small pack there's 20 of them. But in the big pack there's 12, and but you don't use these as often. But this pocket here, it's kind of heavy, and I found that these work well. So if you buy one pack of the big ones, it'll last you a while. I don't use them that often. Boy, these two magnets stuck to each other quick. Hold on. Okay, I'm gonna put one right under here. And this has a nice hold, so let's see. Okay, and I'm going to use the bigger, the 3/8 inch. Okay. This, even before I glue this down, I can put this magnet down, because when I'm ready to put this, after I put my decorative paper and I'm ready to put this, it'll help me guide to where it goes by having this magnet here. So let me just look top and bottom, and if I press down here, that's where it winds up. And when I'm ready to put it on this flap, it'll just put itself there pretty much by sticking to this magnet. Okay, voila, like that. Okay, so that will be glued down. Let me just look real quick and make sure. Yeah. Okay. All right, so let me show you how I decorated this page. I'll put this aside. So page 2, so we have this beautiful paper with the fairy sitting there, and I cut it so that she's in the center, which works out because she's up in that, I believe it's the right-hand corner of this page, and it winds up fitting in here where she's centered. So that's what I did here. I used the purple paper to put on this flap, and I used that same purple paper to put on the pullout. So these two tie into each other. On the other side of this pullout, I have it's the reverse side of one of the pages, the blue and the polka dots. So I put that in here, and then the magnet holds it there. Okay, and then on the other side, in the pocket, this book fits perfectly. So this is one of the tags, and I put it on top of, I just, I'm gonna show you this. So I can show you what I'm talking about. So I took a tag and grab a piece of paper, put it on the paper like this, about the with the right amount of border that I wanted showing, just a little bit, and then I cut it right here. And when I did that, I put a little pencil mark right below here and put a score line, folded it over, and then made my cut. And that is all it took to make this little booklet. And it fits in here just right. This is a sticker from the sticker sheet, and it's got some lines here so I can journal and say what I've been doing. Here's the fairy with the bubbles. So a few of these bubbles you can put some glossy accents. This is beautiful paper. I love it. And I am going to put a little ribbon in here. For the pull out of this paper, it's the one where the fairy was sitting. It's the same one as that. And that is it. So this was a nice, easy page, but yet it looks really nice with this paper on it. And that is it. I'm probably gonna put like a purple color ribbon there. And that is it. Next video, we're on to page 3. See you in a few minutes.